There's a storm in her mind right now. Whether she admits it or not, you're on her mind more often than she'd like. Memories of you, your presence, your words, your energy still linger. They show up in quiet moments when she's not expecting them. But despite the pull, she won't reach out. No text, no call, not even a subtle sign that she's thinking of you. Why? Because her pride stands in the way, an unbreakable wall between what she feels and what she's willing to show. Today, we're breaking that down. Why she's caught in this inner conflict, why she's wrestling with emotions she won't express, and most importantly, how you, as a man of self-respect, handle it like a Stoic. 1. The battle between heart and pride. She wants to reach out. She does. But there's a voice in her head whispering, "Don't. He might think you're weak. He should text first." It's not that she doesn't miss you. She does. She replays your conversations, wonders if you're thinking of her too. She might even type out a message, only to delete it before hitting send. This is the war between her heart and her ego, between emotion and self-protection. She wants closeness again, but she also fears looking like she made a mistake. What if you've moved on? What if you don't care anymore? The fear of rejection is stronger than her desire to reconnect. So she waits, quiet, hoping you'll make the first move. But here's where you embrace the mindset of a Stoic. You don't chase someone through their own emotional maze. That's her internal war, not yours. Your focus, your own growth, your peace, your power. You can't control her pride, her silence, or her indecision. What you can control is your response, calm, grounded, and full of self-respect. Here's the truth. People value what they're at risk of losing. Your silence isn't just empty space, it's a message. It says, I'm not waiting. I'm not chasing. If you want me, you'll have to come to me. And that's when the doubt sets in. For her, that's when she starts thinking more. She may never say it, may never show it, but she's wondering, scrolling through old messages, checking your socials, fighting the urge to reach out. Because pride and emotion are locked in a standoff inside her. Remember what Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." Let go of the need for validation. Let go of the need for her to reach out. If she values you, she'll make the move. If she doesn't, then the silence was never yours to break. Either way, you win. 2. She's watching, even if she's silent. Just because she hasn't reached out doesn't mean she's not watching. She's looking for signs, clues, that you still care. She may not like your posts or leave a comment, but make no mistake, she's there. Late at night, scrolling through your profile, trying to see if you've moved on, checking for hints of someone new, or if you're still the man she once knew. Pride won't let her ask directly. But you're on her mind. Pride can be cruel. It silences honesty, keeps people from saying what they feel, even when it's obvious to them in private. She might want to message you, but the thought of vulnerability, the idea of admitting she was wrong or still cares, that's the battle raging inside her. And here's where most men mess up. They start performing, posting stories or statuses designed to grab her attention, crafting a version of themselves just to provoke a reaction. Don't fall for that trap. The Stoic man doesn't perform for validation. He lives for his own purpose, not someone else's attention. A song lyric here, a mysterious caption there. All little breadcrumbs she's dropping, hoping to spark your curiosity. But they're not just random. They're calculated, subtle nudges meant to provoke a response, meant to make you reach out. But here's the thing. A man who knows his worth doesn't play those games. He doesn't shift his behavior for someone who won't set aside their ego. He doesn't perform to get noticed by someone watching from the shadows, because he knows attention is cheap, discipline is rare. A Stoic man moves differently. He invests his energy in what he can control, his growth, his mindset, his mission. So what's your next move? Simple. Keep living, keep building, keep becoming the man you were meant to be, whether she's watching or not. Because your life is not a performance for someone else's silent attention. Your purpose isn't to be a highlight on her feed or a memory she scrolls through at midnight. Your purpose is to become a man who doesn't crave external validation. If she still cares, she'll feel your absence. She'll wrestle with her own pride. She'll feel the pull between heart and ego. And eventually, she'll understand. Losing you wasn't just losing a man. It was losing something rare. Because a wise man doesn't perform for an audience. He performs for himself. And when you live by that truth, when you stop wondering if she's watching, that's when she starts wondering why she ever let you go. Now let's talk. Have you ever caught yourself tempted to post something just to get a reaction? Or did you take the higher road, focused on yourself and let the silence speak for itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Or if this message hit home, type, "A wise man performs for himself." Let's see how many of us are truly living by that code. 3. Signs. She's thinking about you. Women rarely say it outright. Instead, they leave subtle signs, little breadcrumbs, hoping you'll notice. She might post a song lyric that mirrors your story, a quote about missing someone. She might casually ask a mutual friend, "Hey, how's he been?" These aren't coincidences, they're quiet admissions. "I'm thinking about him," but she won't say it directly, because her pride won't let her. She wants you to notice, but not enough to break the silence first. Maybe she's watching your stories without ever liking a post. Maybe she shows up in places you both used to frequent, randomly, or drops an inside joke in conversation, something only you would catch. All subtle reminders that you still occupy space in her mind. So why doesn't she just say it? Because admitting she misses you means exposing vulnerability. And for many women, vulnerability feels like surrender. Her pride urges her to wait, to stay guarded, to protect herself from the sting of possible rejection. And so the battle continues, between her emotions and her ego. And too often, her ego wins. But here's where you need to stand firm. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase validation. He doesn't lose himself decoding every cryptic post or vague gesture. Just because she's thinking about you doesn't mean you abandon your purpose to chase a ghost. The real strength? Not reacting. As Seneca said, he who is everywhere is nowhere. If you're constantly chasing attention, constantly reacting to every flicker of interest, you lose yourself. You dilute your power. Her signals, her silence, her pride, none of those should dictate your next move. A strong man remains steady, not because he doesn't care, but because he refuses to be controlled by anything outside himself. Let her thoughts be hers to wrestle with. Your focus, your growth, your peace, your mission. If she values you truly, she'll overcome her pride. And if she doesn't, you'll already be too far ahead to look back. The push and pull of emotions. One moment, she's engaging, liking an old photo, sending a vague, "Hey," watching every story you post. The next, she's cold, distant, ignoring your messages, acting like she doesn't care. This is the emotional tug of war, when desire and pride collide. She wants to reach out, but something always stops her. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's ego, or maybe it's that lingering belief that you should be the one chasing her. Here's the thing. Emotions aren't always logical, especially in moments of uncertainty. She might miss you deeply, think about you every night, replay old memories on loop. But admitting that's a different kind of battle. Because to admit she misses you would feel like surrendering control, and she's not ready to give you that power. But you don't get dragged into her emotional current. As a Stoic, you don't ride the highs when she shows interest, and you don't spiral when she pulls away. You don't react to inconsistency. You don't decode every move. You don't chase validation. Why? Because your emotions are yours, not hers to control. She can play the game of hot and cold, but your temperature remains the same, steady, unshaken, disciplined. That's the essence of true strength. To be unmoved, not because you're numb, but because you refuse to hand over your power. Her pride, her silence, her hesitation, that's her internal war, not your responsibility to solve. And here's the irony. The more you stay detached, the more she feels your absence, and the more she realizes you're not like the rest. You're not easily swayed. You're not desperate for crumbs of attention. You move with purpose, not emotion. Now imagine this. She's lying in bed, scrolling through her phone, debating. Should she reach out? Her heart says yes, but her pride whispers, no. He should text first. So she closes the app, rolls over, and stares into the dark, wondering if you're thinking of her too. That's the power of discipline. That's the power of emotional self-control. But still, your name lingers in her mind. And here's the truth. You're not in control because you played games. You're in control because you stayed grounded, unshaken. You became the man who doesn't chase. He attracts. The man who moves with purpose, not desperation. And when she finally does reach out, you don't respond with ego. No bitterness. No, I told you so. Just calm, collected, rooted in self-respect. That presence, that unwavering sense of worth, is what stays with her long after the moment has passed. So pause and reflect for a second. How many times have you witnessed this emotional push and pull play out in your own life? Have you ever watched someone battle their pride while clearly wrestling with feelings they can't express? And the more important question, how did you respond? True Stoicism isn't about power plays. It's not about cold silence or emotional detachment for the sake of control. It's about standing firm in who you are, regardless of how someone else behaves. It's about refusing to be pulled into someone else's chaos just because they're unsure of their own emotions. So, if this message hits home, if you've walked this path, if you've chosen peace over pursuit, purpose over pride, drop a comment or simply type, I remained steady. Let's keep the conversation going. 5. She's revisiting the past. Memories have a strange power. They comfort, they haunt, they return, especially when silence stretches too long. Nostalgia creeps in during the quietest moments, and for her, that whisper is growing louder. She finds herself replaying the highlights, the laughter, the late-night talks, the way you looked at her like she was the only one in the room. And somewhere deep down, she starts to wonder, did I make the right choice? At first, she brushed it off, told herself moving on was for the best. She leaned into distractions, convinced she'd feel free. But with time, the certainty fades. Now, you cross her mind more than she wants to admit. She misses the way you made her feel, the way your presence grounded her, even the silence you shared, the kind that never felt uncomfortable. But here's the catch. As strong as the pull of the past becomes, admitting she was wrong is a whole different war. Because reaching out, owning that regret, that means letting go of pride. And for some, that's harder than walking away in the first place. The mind has a way of rewriting history, especially when something is no longer within reach. What once felt flawed starts to look flawless in hindsight. The arguments, they fade, the tension, forgotten. All that's left is the highlight reel, moments of warmth, laughter, safety, and you, your presence, becomes a distant comfort she can't access anymore. She scrolls through old messages late at night, hears a song that drops her back into your world for just a few seconds. Maybe she even types out a message, then deletes it. If he cared, he'd reach out first, her pride whispers. So she waits, even as the emptiness grows louder, even as the ache deepens. But here's where Stoicism speaks clearly. You cannot control her pride. You cannot force clarity into someone who chooses denial. And above all, you must not wait. You don't belong in the past, reliving what-ifs. You belong here, now, building the life unfolding in front of you. If she truly wants to revisit what was, that's her burden to carry. It's her step to take, not yours to chase. As Marcus Aurelius said, it is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live. So don't fear the loss of someone who couldn't see your value the first time. Don't waste your energy looking for signs, for closure, or for her pride to give way. You don't need proof that she's thinking about you. The very battle she's fighting within herself is all the proof you'll ever need. And when the silence becomes too loud, when she realizes that in holding on to her ego, she let go of something real, she might reach out. But by then, it won't matter. Because you won't be the same man she left behind. You'll be further, stronger, wiser, living a life that no longer needs her validation. The weight of missing you. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding the way human psychology works. We tend to value what's no longer available more than what's always within reach. When you were present, offering your time, your energy, your attention, she may not have fully grasped what that meant. But now, in your absence, in your silence, the echo of your presence is deafening. She scrolls through old messages, hesitates before typing a new one, deletes it before sending. She wonders where you are, who you're with, if you ever think about her. But she won't say it. Her pride won't let her. This is where many men make a critical mistake. They assume silence equals indifference. But more often than not, silence is the result of fear. Fear of vulnerability, fear of rejection, fear of looking weak. As Epictetus said, how long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Whether she reaches out or not, whether she admits how she feels or buries it, none of that is within your control. But what is within your control? Your focus, your mindset, your path forward, your refusal to be defined by someone else's emotional hesitation. The moment you shift your energy inward toward your growth, your peace, and your purpose is the moment you reclaim your power. You don't wait, you don't chase, you don't obsess, you walk forward. Not to make her miss you, but because you finally understand your own value doesn't depend on whether she ever acknowledges hers. And the irony? The more you stop needing her validation, the more your silence will echo. Because silence, when rooted in strength, speaks louder than words ever could. She'll feel the void, she'll feel your absence. And in that quiet, she may finally confront a truth she wasn't ready to admit. She misses you more than she ever expected. If you've made it this far, take a moment to reflect. What part of this message resonated most with you? Have you experienced the power of distance, the clarity it brings? Drop your thoughts in the comments, or if you're truly committed to choosing peace over chaos, type, "I choose my peace." Let's see how many are truly ready to stand in that power. Let attraction take care of itself. Attraction isn't something you chase, it's something you align with. As Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Right now, she's thinking about you. She scrolls through old conversations, hovers over your name in her contacts. But pride, that's the wall she hasn't found the courage to break down. She wants to reach out, but admitting she misses you, that feels like surrender. And pride and emotion, they rarely walk hand in hand. This is where your power lies, not in chasing, not in seeking validation, but in standing firm in your self-respect. A true Stoic knows control over another's feelings is an illusion. What you can control is your mind, your direction, your discipline. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Your freedom begins the moment you stop wondering, will she text? Does she miss me? Is she thinking about me? You shift that energy inward, to your purpose, to your peace, to becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to chase, because he naturally attracts. That strength, it's in your silence, it's in your patience, it's in letting her sit with the weight of her own thoughts. Because when you pull away, you create space. And space creates curiosity. It's human nature to long for what feels just out of reach. Imagine this. She's out with friends, laughing, acting like everything's fine. But when the noise fades, when the room is quiet, that's when your absence gets loud. Not because she doesn't want to reach out, but because her pride is still louder than her feelings. And this is where most men stumble. They break the silence too soon. They reach out, not from strength, but from fear, from the need to be seen, to be wanted, to be chosen. But a man who respects himself, he doesn't chase what's already drawn to him. He doesn't interrupt the natural flow of attraction with impatience. So let her think about you. Let her sit with it. Let her wrestle with it. Let the silence do what words never could. Because when you stay grounded, focused, unshaken, that's when she starts to feel your presence more in your absence than she ever did in your presence. Want to show you're walking this path? Drop a comment below or type, "I let attraction take care of itself." Let's see how many are living with power, patience, and purpose. Let her pride keep her silent. Your role isn't to force clarity, it's to remain grounded, to stay focused, to keep improving, and to let the universe unfold the way it's meant to. If the connection was real, if she truly values what you shared, she'll come forward in her own time. And if she doesn't, then you haven't lost anything. You've only proven one thing: your ability to maintain power, your ability to stand still while others waver. Number 8, should you reach out first? Here's the honest answer: only if it aligns with your standards, not your emotions. Act with wisdom, not with impulse. If she walked away without clarity, let her be the one to bring it back. I know what you're thinking. Is she thinking about me? Does she miss me? The truth? She probably does. But pride is loud. And her silence? It's not always indifference. It's often inner conflict. She might scroll through your old photos. She might replay your conversations. She might type out a message, then delete it. Not because she doesn't care, but because admitting it would mean swallowing her pride. And for many, pride is stronger than honesty. So what do? You hold your ground. You don't break the silence because you're lonely. You don't reach out just to check if you're still on her mind. You don't seek comfort in confusion. You move with intention. You act only when it reflects your values, not your need for validation. That's Stoicism. As Epictetus once asked, how long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? You can't control her pride. You can't dictate her fears or her timing, but you can control your patience, your peace, your principles. A man who respects himself doesn't chase uncertainty. He doesn't move out of fear. He allows things to unfold as they will, because truth doesn't need to be forced. Let her wrestle with her silence. Let her pride do what it will. If she cares, truly cares, she'll find her way back. And if she doesn't, you're already on a path that doesn't require her presence. Want to show you're living this mindset? Drop a comment below or type, I move with intention, not emotion. Let's see who's staying grounded in purpose and power. If she cares, she'll push past her pride. If it truly matters to her, she'll break through the wall she built. Because when something or someone holds real value, pride eventually gets out of the way. But if she doesn't, if she stays silent, watching from the shadows, then why should you be the one making the effort? When you move from wisdom, not impulse, you send a message, not just to her, but to yourself. You are not a man who bends to uncertainty. You are the man she now realizes she can't afford to lose. Let her sit with the silence. Let her pride wrestle with her emotions. And if she truly values you, she'll break the silence on her own. Number 9, when her pride finally breaks, it happens. Eventually, she finds a reason to reach out. Maybe it's a random message, a reaction to your story, or a picture that pulls her back into a memory she thought she had buried. But the real question now isn't if she'll reach out. It's how you respond. The answer, with calm, with confidence, without bitterness. A true Stoic never gloats. He doesn't need to. He simply moves forward, focused, composed, grounded. See, her pride is strong. It kept her silent, convinced her she made the right choice. She wore the mask, played it cool, told herself she didn't care. But emotions don't vanish. They simmer. They rise when the noise quiets, when the distractions fade, when the nights get long and your absence gets louder. And when that moment comes, she may not confess it out loud, but you'll see it. In the way she replies slower, but longer. In the fact that she's suddenly watching every story. In how mutual friends mention her name more than before. Those are the cracks in her pride. Proof that the silence isn't strength, it's struggle. But here's what separates you from the rest. You don't chase. You don't seek explanations. You don't beg for closure. You stay still. You remain grounded. Because as Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. So you don't punish her for walking away. You don't let resentment live in your heart. You become the man who thrives whether she returns or not. That's true power. That's real masculinity. That's Stoicism in action. If this resonates with you, take a moment and reflect. Have you ever watched pride break in silence? Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Or just type, I remain grounded. Let's see who's living this mindset when she finally reaches out. When she does reach out, welcome the moment with self-respect, not desperation. Think about it. If you react emotionally, if you lash out or try to make her feel guilty, you only prove that she still has control over you. But if you respond with calm and collected energy, you force her to see you in a new light. You remind her of the very qualities that drew her to you in the first place. That is power. That is mastery over yourself. So when her pride finally breaks and she reaches out, don't make it about winning or losing. Make it about who you've become in her absence. Because if she truly values you, she won't just dip her toes in the water. She'll find a way to lower her pride and step back into your life. And if she doesn't, then you already know you're better off moving forward. Your growth is the real game changer. Here's the reality. Whether she comes back or not, you've already won. You've grown. You've evolved. You've built a life so solid that no single person can dictate your happiness. The best revenge? It's not revenge at all. It's becoming the man you were always meant to be. And trust me, she's thinking about you. She may scroll through old messages, linger on your photos, or replay moments in her mind. But her pride? That's the wall she's built to keep herself from admitting it. She doesn't want to be the one to break the silence. She doesn't want to give you the satisfaction of knowing you still cross her mind. But let's be honest, does that really matter? A Stoic man doesn't live for validation. He doesn't sit around waiting for a sign that someone still cares. He moves forward, knowing his worth isn't tied to someone else's recognition. As Epictetus said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth by which no one was ever truly harmed." The truth is, you don't need her words to confirm what you already suspect. You don't need her to say, "I miss you," because deep down, you already know she does. Think about it. Why would someone forget a man who was, continue as needed, steady, strong, and confident? She won't reach out, not because she doesn't want to, but because she's choosing to protect her ego. Maybe she's waiting for you to crack first, to send that text, to make it easy for her. This is why silence is so powerful. When you refuse to chase, you flip the script. Your absence forces her to sit with her own thoughts, to wrestle with the reality that you were a presence in her life she took for granted. You don't break your frame. You don't rush in to save her from the silence. A Stoic understands that emotions are fleeting, but self-respect remains. The moment you start chasing, you hand over control. The moment you stay firm, you remind her why she was drawn to you in the first place. And if she never admits it, if she never reaches out, that's okay too. Because the real victory isn't in her return, it's in the fact that you've already moved forward. You're building a life that excites you, not looking over your shoulder, waiting for someone else's approval. So, let her think. Let her pride keep her silent. That's her battle, not yours. Your focus is on your own growth. Keep rising. Keep evolving. Let your progress speak louder than words ever could. At the end of the day, this isn't about winning a battle of pride. It's about knowing your worth. Conclusion. A man of value doesn't wait for validation, nor does he chase someone caught up in their own ego. Instead, he moves forward, focused on his growth, his purpose, and his peace of mind. If she's truly thinking about you, she'll have to wrestle with her own emotions. That's her battle, not yours. Your silence isn't about playing games. It's about self-respect. If she ever decides to push past her pride, she'll realize that you were never just another option. You were the standard. Remember, the moment you shift your focus from needing her attention to mastering yourself, you reclaim your power. You don't need to prove anything. Your value isn't up for debate. It's demonstrated in how you carry yourself, how you move, and how you refuse to be swayed by fleeting emotions. So stop worrying about whether she's thinking about you. If she truly values you, she'll make it known. And if she doesn't, you've already won by staying true to yourself. If this video gave you insight, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever been in this situation before? What did you do? Share your experience. I'd love to hear it. And if you found value in this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Also, don't stop here. Keep sharpening your mindset. Check out the videos on screen now for more powerful insights into attraction, self-mastery, and Stoic wisdom. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay focused, keep rising.